Ugh. What the? Every Florida man has about 7 bodies in his attic because, we don't have basements. Anyway. The Transformers Kingdom Blackarachnia is a figure that I own. I know I tend to say that quite a lot, but it is really not too special. I found a flashlight. When the pictures of the alt mode and robot mode were first revealed, people were losing their minds. I remember how people were going, this looks so much better than the Masterpiece and is about $1,000 cheaper. And in some aspects, yeah, but in others, it's pretty much the same. The figures seem so similar, yet so different at the same time. It's so strange. Yeah, it's weird. Anyway, so let's go over the alt mode. Spider mode is a spider. It definitely looks like a spider. Ignore that beginning skit where I ripped off its legs. So, yeah. It looks good at a passing glance, but only at a passing glance. When you start to look into the details, you start to realize that this is just a crumpled up robot. And the thing is, it feels like a crumpled up robot. But we'll do that later. Okay, so first things first, her legs are all cemented at the bottom, so that they can't move at the base, but they do have individually articulated bits at the middle of the legs. And already one of my issues popped up while I was doing that. These hands are supposed to peg together, they just don't. And they're supposed to sit flush, but if you do that, again, they unpeg. So, conflicting information! So, pretty much, there's another thing involving the arms, I just want to go over it. These two pegs peg into these two holes, but they just don't. Okay, on to the transformation. Put on that non-copyright jazz. Okay, let's do this. My favorite part of this is when you get to take the head and the breasts out of the ass. That's a sentence I never thought I'd say in my life. The robot mode and the robot mode. I can't say it. It's borderline perfect. The paint, sculpting, and it has so little kibble. The only bit of kibble it has is the backpack, and even then it's so minuscule. All of the sins in the alt mode are pretty much forgiven at this point, because let's take the little grapple gun thing out of her hand. Holy moly! Every single detail is borderline perfect. The paint is perfect. Yeah, it seems a little bit sloppy, especially on the face here. But to be honest, I don't care. Anyway, on the articulation, ball joint at the head and the base of the neck. You're gonna go what? Ball joint at the shoulders and double swivel at the upper and lower bicep and elbow. I guess this could also count as wrist, but yeah. Claws don't open, that sucks. No waist rotation, be gone! Hip, ball joint, and swivel here. Knees can go way over 90 degrees. and ankles can go up, not so much down, and left and right for pivot. And if you don't want to poke someone's eye out, you can do that. And each of the legs are ball jointed. Oh, and because of the transformation, there is a butterfly. The articulation on this figure is pretty good. It has more than average in some areas, but less than average in others. Waist. But besides that, it does seem to have a high level of articulation. I just burped. But there is a buyer beware that I would like to bring up. If you open the breast, so many accidental jokes in here. Okay, so there is a peg here and a slot here. With a lot of the figures, including a lot of YouTubers that I've seen, this peg has completely sheared off. Mine has not done that. To be honest, mine is really loose. It's not that. It's like, it doesn't seem like it's gonna. Like, mine's very easy to unpeg. That's a problem, but I'm not gonna bring it up. But besides that, it does seem fairly okay. So that was the review for Kingdom Beast Wars Blackarachnia, and it's okay. The robot mode is undoubtedly fantastic, but there are certain aspects that really, I feel, could be improved on. The claws aren't articulated. There's no wrist swivel on either of her hands. There's no waist swivel, which, yeah, for the transformation, understandable. But still, the quality control in her chest is really messed up. And the spider mode is a floppy mess. But the accuracy on the robot mode is unparalleled. And I don't envy the task that Hasbro and Takara had at hand with the masterpiece and this figure. Having a spider turn into a voluptuous woman is, as Jobby said, no easy task. But it's just, it doesn't feel right. What am I trying to say here? The figure feels cheaper than it actually is. I mean, I was able to get this figure at Ross literally like earlier this week for $10, which was a deal because, well, it was the last video I needed to complete my Kingdom stuff. But it's just, it feels like it's worth $10. But when it originally came out for $20 and now seeing some places reissue it for $25, it seems too much. It's closer to $30 when you include tax now. So get it if you can find it for a cheap price, like $10 to $15. Don't get it for $25 to $30 like my local comic book store is selling it at. Big Bad Toy Store isn't even selling this figure, which is surprising because they sell everything. Anyway, I give this figure actually, no. Before I get to that, do I recommend this figure? If you're just gonna leave it in robot mode, yes. For what it is in robot mode is perfectly fine. If you just need it to stay on a shelf and look pretty, she sure does look pretty, okay? If she's on a shelf. But if you're gonna like play with the figure, give it to a kid, this figure feels a little too brittle. I mean, look at the spider legs right here. That's a little cheap. It feels a little cheap to me. Anyway, I do recommend this figure if you're just a collector looking for a blackarachnia to put on your shelf and look pretty. But I don't recommend it if you're trying to give it to a younger kid. Anyway, I give this figure a lamp out of a soda that I've been drinking the entire video. Okay, bye.